The fight for gun rights here in Missouri for the last 12 to 15 months, you know that our pro-gun supermajorities here in Jeff City, heavy sarcasm intended, have been hell-bent on trying to pass a gun control bill that would make your children, our children and grandchildren, criminals for possessing firearms under an arbitrary age. What's happening is these politicians are so arrogant that they believe they can solve the crime problem in St. Louis, in Kansas City, Columbia, Springfield, and everywhere else by passing a gun control bill. Now, I don't know about you, but I grew up with firearms. I had a gun in my truck the day I turned 16. That gun, that rifle, frankly, it's never left the backseat of my truck. I was taught to shoot when I was very young. My children have been taught by my wife and I to shoot when they were very young. My guess is that you and your friends were taught to shoot by your parents and grandparents when you were very young. And none of us committed acts of mass violence. The issue, as we've all known for a long time, is not about the firearm. The issue, as we've all known for a long time, is much broader than that. At a minimum, we're talking about broken homes, broken schools, prosecutors who won't prosecute, and a culture that has wrecked our children by force feeding them a diet of hatred since they were in kindergarten. They've been taught to hate our country, our founding fathers, our freedoms. And then if they question any of this, they're force-fed a diet of mind-altering psychotropic drugs, which of course leaves them a mess. And then with that concoction spitting out dangerous people on a regular basis, especially in our big cities, the same liberals who helped create that scenario now point to us and say, we have to surrender ground when it comes to our gun rights to solve the problem that their policies created. And again, the Republicans here in Jeff City are engaged in this process. They want to help pass this gun control bill. Guys, if you're pressed for time, hit the link below, whatever else you do, and take action and make sure your state rep and your state senator knows you are opposed to any bill that would crack down on your gun rights because of the actions of violent criminals. Now, here's the big release in this video. Here's the big update. Everywhere I go here in Missouri, state capitol, speaking events, wherever I go, people say the same thing. Aaron, totally agree. We should never give up our gun rights. It's not our problem that violent criminals act like violent criminals. But they always say, but we got to do something because the politicians have said for the last year and a half that the police lack the tools, right? They lack the tools to stop these violent criminals. And I kind of always thought that sounded like crap, but I wasn't 100% sure what the law said when it comes to minors and firearms. So very recently, I had a meeting with Attorney General Andrew Bailey. I sat down with him and I was like, Mr. Attorney General, surely somewhere in the code here in Missouri, the police have the authority they need to deal with violent young people who are breaking the law when it comes to firearms. And he said, absolutely, of course. If they wave a gun, that's brandishing. If they shoot somebody, of course, that's a crime. And I said, I got that. But what about what we keep hearing from the cops is, well, we walk up to them. They're not doing anything illegal, but they're in a known gang. They're acting suspicious, and we have no tools. I was like, is that true? Do they actually have no tools? And he showed me two code sections, which I want to make sure that you have seen, because as you go forward in this fight and you talk to your state rep and your state senator, and they're going to say, well, I don't like gun control either, but we must do something. I want you to remember these two code sections. I'm going to put this screenshot on the screen so you can see it. But the code section we're talking about is 211.031, and there's two subsections I'm going to read to you in this video. This is the section that deals with ascribing the authority to our juvenile and family court system to deal with minors who are breaking the law. Here is the screenshot I want you guys to see. I have to change my screen here just for a moment. Give me 1 second, and I'll have this up on the board for you. Here we go. Again, Missouri Code Section 211.031. The top line there in red says juvenile court or family court in circuits that have family court in this chapter shall have exclusive jurisdiction in proceedings. Now scroll down to section 2, involving any child who may be a resident of or found within the county and who is alleged to be in need of care and treatment because And now we're down to the two sections that actually matter. Section B, the child disobeys the reasonable and lawful directions of his or her parents or other custodian and is beyond their control. That's number one. Or the second instance would be the behavior or associations of the child are otherwise injurious to his or her welfare or the welfare of others. Let me break that down for you. It means if there is a minor walking around St. Louis at 2 o'clock in the morning and his parents have told him to be home and he is beyond their control, he can be arrested and dealt with by our juvenile court system. More than that, if he is out on the streets in the middle of the night, even if his parents don't care, and he's involved in associations or behaviors that are injurious to his welfare, he can also be arrested and dealt with. You see, I always knew this was the case. I just had to ask the Attorney General. I always knew there had to be code, there had to be law that gave the police the authority to act. And it's right freaking there. I'm going to play it for you one more time or show it to you one more time. This is Missouri Code Section 211.031. The juvenile and family courts could act in cases where a child is beyond the parental control, that's subsection B down towards the bottom, or their behavior or associations are injurious to his or others' welfare. You see, guys, the police have all the tools they need. They've always had all the tools they need. The issue remains that our blue cities do not want to go after actual criminals. They don't care about this. They say they do, but their goal is to use the actions of these criminals, which again, their liberal policies help to empower, dare I say, help to create. They want to use all that to crack down on our gun rights. And too many Republican leaders here in Jeff City are either stupid or complicit in going along with this. So guys, again, here at the Missouri Firearms Coalition, we will never, ever surrender an inch of our freedom because of the actions of criminals under any circumstances, but especially in this case, when clearly state code already gives a procedure for our law enforcement officers to use to deal with violent criminals. This will not be solved by gun control. Everyone knows that. But there's too many politicians right now who are feeling the pressure from the media. And guys, I can't predict what might happen this session. We have a lot of politicians who are on their 8th year. We have folks like Lane Roberts, who is the chairman of the Crime Prevention Committee. Lane is a Republican who loves pushing gun control bill. We stopped gun control in his bills. We stopped him last year. He's coming back this year, and he has nothing left to lose. It's his last year in office. Guys, it's going to be a big fight. I guarantee we're not done with this yet. Hit the link below. Take action. Make sure your lawmakers here in Jeff City know that you are 100% opposed to any attempt to crack down on our gun rights because of the actions of violent criminals, guys. And then share our video far and wide so everyone knows what's going on. If we don't stand up, if we don't get loud, they are going to pass this gun control bill this session. Guys, take action, and we'll be in touch. Stay free.